Hello again. Now, MRG and the MRG squares, it has been on my mind quite a bit recently for various reasons. One of the one of the big reasons is I think that Casio might be releasing a gold version of this. So we know that right now we have the silver, we have the black and gold, and we have a black and blue with a negative display. And the black and blue with the negative display is the one I haven't been able to film. And it's probably my least favourite because of the negative display. Now recently I obviously got some negative display squares in the full metal, and I do like them. But because of the price delta on these, because these are so much more expensive, and it's got a negative display, it's made me think that I'm going to miss the MRG negative display. Now, but if they brought this out in gold, and I think there is a chance that they might, that's going to present me with mental health problems and financial problems, because I'm certainly going to want to see that watch and ideally own the thing. I think it's a real possibility that they could produce a gold MRG. And that then made me think to myself, hold on, if a gold MRG was produced, what does that mean to the rest of my collection? Actually, let me change the camera 1 second. I've just changed the camera slightly because I'm hoping that the colour, that the light looks better. Because I'm one of those people, I try to only film in natural daylight. And actually, I'm trying not to use diffusers, and I'm simply trying to get the colour saturation of the environment that I'm in matching perfectly the watch, with the least amount of effort. But it is very tricky, and I'm worried that what you're seeing might be too dark. But in the flesh here, this lighting looks absolutely brilliant. The way that it's capturing the bezel and the polished parts and the display, it looks fantastic. So I'm hoping that that is captured on the screen. I'm worried that it's not, but hopefully it is. Anyway, we were back onto the possibility of G-Shock offering the MRG square in gold, and that's going to be a real because you can see the gold black plate is already there, the gold button is there, the gold buttons and screws is there, and also the gold displays there. So imagine this wrapped into a gold a case and bracelet. It would be absolutely amazing. I mean, I suppose what they would also do is the outer part would be gold, like on the 35. So if I put this in here, they would simply put the colour arrangement of the bezel, the case and bracelet here into titanium MRG format here, knowing that they've already got the gold buttons and screws and a top plate of the bezel, and they've got the gold button there, and they've already got the gold back plate. So it's making me think Casio and G-Shock is going to release a gold version of this. Now, you can see where I'm going, because if they did release a gold version of the MRG, I'm just going to zoom in a little bit there, and hopefully we've got that nicely viewed there. In fact, hold on, I'm going to change the camera once again, hold on. So once again, you can see where I'm going here. Right, so we've got the two MRGs there, the silver and the black, but I've got this horrible feeling they're going to create a gold MRG. Now, from my other videos, you can see that I'm a real sucker, and I'm impacted greatly, mentally and financially, by these squares. But look, silver, gold, black. But this, of course, is the full metal, and I like this because it's stainless steel and it has some heft and it's cool anyway. But if that was a gold MRG sat there, I would have the most perfect three-piece collection by G-Shock. That is, hold on, that is only if you are a titanium fan. So let's go back. These MRGs are titanium. They are approximately 40 grams lighter than the full metal. One of the things I like about the full metal is the weight, because it's stainless steel. And I've also said on other videos that my Grail is the 300 gram beast of this. Literally this, but in 300 grams. In actual fact, if I put the negative display on, because that will reflect the Grail that I'm talking about. You know, the solid gold 300 gram beast is this watch, but in solid gold. So that would be the gold, and I really, you know, it's my Grail. I would like it. But then MRG and titanium. So let's get back to titanium. But I'll leave that, actually I'll pull the C3PO back in to play. So imagine the C3PO here is titanium. Actually, I'm literally just going to have a coffee. I'm literally having a coffee break, and I thought to myself, I'm going to shoot these videos in a coffee break. So there we go. Right, so look, we have these two beasts in titanium with their multi-part structure and their improved clasp here with this lock piece, because this is all machined a little better. And listen to that click. See if I can do the click on the... It has that titanium thud when you click it. And the bracelet is very tight. The tolerances are extra tight. If I... you probably can't see that because I've got the camera at an angle, but there's very little play in the bracelet. In the full metals, the play is a little greater, but they're not using pins and collars in the full metals. They actually use a spring-loaded thing that I really like also. I don't mind the play, because that play doesn't actually increase over time. It pretty much stays the same. So that's a nice thing. But the pins and collars on the MRG titanium is what reduces that play there. Anyway, my point is, what if they produce a gold MRG? Because it would look like this. This is the C3PO steel, but that would be an MRG, and I would have what would be considered the most ideal square collection, because you've got a colour that matches anything that you're wearing, really, because of the range. And because I'm a gold fan, I obviously like this. And if that was MRG, I know I'm going to think this is the coolest thing ever. But then what it does, it puts into focus, what about all the other squares that you might have? Because do you want them? Are they better? Do they serve another purpose? Now, I've touched on weight. Now, the stainless steel has a feel to it. It's a little colder when you first put it on, because of the heat transfer into stainless steel is greater than the heat transfer into titanium. So you have that property, which is which is something quite pleasant to think about and do, actually. But titanium is harder, so I'm going to put that out of the camera view and pull back in the titaniums, because one of my original thoughts was, if I have to sell watches and I only have to keep two, this would be a nice collection to have, because it's titanium, it's robust, it's light. Titanium is a good watch material because of its two main properties. One being it's tough, resilient. Second being it's light. Once again, yes, some people don't like the lightness, that they like heft. But titanium is a good material, and I suppose if G-Shock is flexing these squares and it chooses to use sapphire crystal, cobarium bezel, a strong grade of titanium on the case and bracelet. You know, you can see why this is made of titanium and not steel, because they want it to be ultra premium. But where I'm going to is, are these so much better than steel? Because if they are, why don't I just wait for the gold version of these to come out, get that, and then I'm done? I've only got 3 watches, and I would sort of save money. And wearing these, you know, is possibly better, but that isn't my experience, because I wear these and they are cool and I really like them for what they are, but I still keep wearing the full metals here because there's something about them that's a bit strange. And the one watch that I'm wearing all the time that hasn't had much airtime recently is this black Darth Vader, and it doesn't have the thin red line and doesn't have the blue text. And I am wearing this all the time because it is a little bit dressed down. It's a little bit more stealthy and doesn't have that attention-grabbing thin red line and blue text. And that with a pair of black jeans and a black t-shirt, it does look awesome. Yeah, don't get me wrong, C3PO in gold, that looks absolutely cool with black t-shirt and jeans also. But it really is a statement. I mean, when you wear that with a black t-shirt and jeans, you are saying something. When you wear this with a black t-shirt and jeans, I think what you're saying is that you are just as cool as heck. And, you know, it does. I mean, that is also what is great about these G-Shocks. Every time, you know, so you've got the blank canvas, black t-shirt, black jeans, or grey t-shirt and grey jeans. I've just mentioned grey. When you wear a grey t-shirt and grey jeans and you wear this, that is just so, what a statement that is. But what I have found, and I found it obviously the other day because it's what I wore, I found that when I wore this with a black t-shirt, with a grey t-shirt and grey bottoms and grey shoes, you know, I thought it really looked cool. You know, it looks super. Yeah, I am liking the cornflake, and I know, they are going to bring more cornflakes out, and I think we're going to be pleasantly surprised. You know, they are going to be crowd pleasers, I am very, very sure. But anyway, back to MRG. I think they will bring out a gold version, and it's going to look like a lot like this, combined with the black gold detailing that we know already exists. And it is going to be fantastic, and I'm really going to like it. Does it make me want to slim down my collection and get rid of all the full metals? No. The full metals, it's a different experience. It feels different on the wrist. The solid construction is noticeable and it feels odd. The stainless steels have these cornflake effects, so we're going to get loads of cornflakes coming out, and I think that's going to be fantastic. They are much, much cheaper, but they have the same movement, and essentially they do the same thing, but they are a different watch, even though, you know, it's the same. They look the same shape, and from afar they look the same thing, but they are different. And I think this is why we like wristwatches, because these objects, these machines, have character, they have personality, they feel different, they wear differently, they have different colorways, they match different clothing. And this is why we are crazy and we like these odd things, and we're happy to buy these things. And I often say to people, my goodness, you could have an addiction to lots of other things that are a lot more dangerous and harmful. If your only vice is wristwatches, I mean, you can't really go far wrong. And remember, these things offer good residual value. You know, most of the time they do drop in value, but even if it only drops to half, you are going to get half your money back over time. And in the meantime, you're enjoying these products. Now, to spend money on a hobby or a thing that you wear and enjoy, and then you sell on and you get half of the money back, that is fantastic. Now, occasionally you'll buy one at retail, like this, and it goes up in value even when it's used. So that's a nice, bit of, it's a nice component attached to the hobby, and also and helps justify you buying the thing in the first place. But I'd say to anyone, if you like wristwatches, and the more affordable end, which the G-Shock, these MRGs are pricey, so I can't really say that they're affordable. But the metals, I suppose they're not that affordable either. But of course, I've got the expensive ones here. I mean, you can get the resin plastic versions of these, and they are the same. And many times they are more sensible. But this isn't a bad hobby to be in. And these squares, what a nice object to like and collect. And, people do like them. And look, this has stood the test of time. I've had a lot of watches on my wrist, lots of mechanical, lots of digital watches. And right now, for some reason, at this point in my life, I've stumbled on G-Shock squares, and G-Shock mainly. And hopefully I have another MRG coming. So wait for that. It's going to be cool. And I've had a lot of experience with watches, and I've ended up with these squares. So I do find that incredibly interesting. And I keep waiting for my interest to wane and I move on to something else. But right now, that's not happening. So I am pleasantly interested by that. So it is going to be interesting. And also, my own watch design efforts are changing the whole time. And I find that very interesting, what I like. Anyway, guys, I'm rambling on. My coffee needs to be completed. It's very hot here, so my brain isn't really working anyway. But I wanted to show you these watches again. I wanted to offer you more thoughts about them. And hopefully I've really spoken around a gold MRG, because that's going to be so interesting and pleasant, and I think it's going to happen. So that's just going to be so cool. Anyway, I'm going to say goodbye for now. I really hope everyone is well, and speak again soon.